cars heading to the grid for the first race of the day for the 5 Club Racing Mazda MX-5 Championship. And yes, it does have championship status for the first time this season, and as if to celebrate, a near capacity grid of 34 cars taking to the track for a race that should last for just under 15 minutes. There they all are, with on pole position Ben Short. Will Blackwell Chambers is next to him. Lights out, away they go. Bit of a tentative start by 1 or 2 drivers on this damp, or probably a bit more than damp track. Field heads up towards Redgate Corner for the first time. It's Blackwell Chambers from the outside of the front row that has made the best start. Brian Chandler trying to go second around the outside of Ben Short there. Chandler starting from the inside of row 2 of the grid, and we're on board here with the car of Adam Reed, number 28, that started on 19th position on the grid, trying to get his way past the 81 car, which is Fisher. Sebastian Fisher started up on row 8. Already a change of lead though, and it's Ben Short that goes through, but Will Blackwell Chambers tries to cut back inside him immediately on the inside. Brian Chandler goes wide all over the grass on the outside of the corner. 1 or 2 others going off as well in sympathy, and Brian Chandler rejoins the field about halfway down. Now Brian Chandler, let's not forget, is the man that won most of the races in the series as it was then last year. Will Blackwell Chambers took the 2 opening wins at Donington Park, but Chandler was the man to beat for much of the season. It's not had a very good start to this race, I'm afraid, as number 29, that's Adam Bessel, goes through the blue car with the yellow roll hoop towards Coppice Corner. Then for the first time they go. We've had a spin for number 90, that's Andrew Barrett. Well, he started right at the back of the field and his race hasn't yet got much better. Short it is that leads then. Blackwell Chambers is second. It looks like James Rogers then is in 3rd place. He started in 4th position, the place that he finished many of the races during the course of last season. And the rest of the field making their way through. Adam Reed determined there, trying to get past the 47 car of Stephen Craggs, who started up on the 7th row of the grid. And over the line they come now. And yes, Reed has made up a couple of places at least on that lap. He's up from 19th to 17th. Possibly as a result of 1 or 2 drivers ahead of him making mistakes, but a good start to the race nevertheless for Adam Reed. And Brian Chandler pushing on as he tries to regain ground, but again he's going through the mud and the dirt and he's losing more ground. It's not been a good start to the weekend for Brian Chandler, because I don't think he's got the engine he would like in that car. I think he lost an engine the other day, so possibly a little bit down on power compared to where he'd like to be, although having said that, in these conditions, not necessarily a major disadvantage. Someone else up front has gone off, just trying to pick up who that might be that is losing a bit of ground on this lap. Just wondering, was that the Rogers car? Possibly. Well, we'll soon see as we look there at, I think that's the 58 car of Mike Comber. Mike, the former low-cost champion with the 750 Motor Club. He's been away racing in other clubs' championships for the last year or 2, but returning to the 750 Motor Club and 5 Club Racing with their MX-5 championship. MX-5 racing for around about the last decade now has been a big feature of club racing. Lots of eligible cars available and in build, as we watch number 91 Jack Sycamore. Used to seeing him with the Union flag livery. He's not got that for this season. He comes through and he's in 6th position at the moment, is Jack. Just behind him I think we've got number 37, which is James Harris. So up towards Redgate Corner for another occasion. Lots of side-by-side battles going on further down the order. This 5 Club Racing Championship, put together by Alan Robson, one of the original architects of Mazda MX-5 racing in the UK, a good few years ago now. Here's this battle going on between Sycamore and Harris. A little bit further up you've got Chris Greatrex in number 44. Are we going to have that change there? Because down the inside of the old hairpin goes number 37, which is James Harris. The driver from Lawton goes through, but then makes a mistake, and Sycamore gets back through again. Sycamore, who came on ever stronger during the course of last season. As we watch now the orange and grey car of number 74, Sam Gendy. Sycamore pushing on. And someone out of shape, and into the gravel trap. It's number 40. That's Ben Hansey. Yep, hands up in frustration. I think he knows that his race is over now. Spinning the wheels, it's getting him nowhere. And the BS Motorsport car, unlike that of the race leader, is very much out of contention. There's Gendy, and behind him is number 44, which is Jason Greatrex, who spins around. The former Fiat Racing champion making an uncharacteristic mistake there. Sliding the car, it squirms as he tries to get the power down as he rejoins the race, but Jason Greatrex there, who was running in 5th position, has lost quite a few places now. And Sycamore's off as well. Straight on he goes, trekking through the gravel. Has he got enough momentum to get out the other side down at the old hairpin? Yes, he has. Now he's got that wet and slippery grass to contend with. He will rejoin. But Jack Sycamore, well, he'd briefly been promoted to 5th, but he's lost about half a dozen places there. And in these conditions, mistakes really can be very costly. There you see the other Greatrex brother, number 93, which is Chris. And there's Jason, you can see as he tries to recover. He's just behind number 86, which is Daniel Stewart, the driver from Braintree. And off goes James Rogers. So here is Will Blackwell Chambers heading down into the chicane. Number 43 then. He's running in 2nd place with Ben Short a bit further up the road. There's a bit of a gap back to the 3rd place car. There he is, which is Sam Gendy, but everyone is trying to tuck him behind number 93, which is now to 5th place. That's the car of Chris Greatrex. Then you have the 29 car of Bessel. You've got 58, which is Mike Combert, now up into 7th position. So he steadily climbed up the order, has Mike. He'll have been disappointed, I think, with his 15th position on the grid. The Leicestershire driver comes from a karting background, of course. There's Jason Greatrex just trying to go through on the inside of number 9, which is Ian Tomlinson, the deep red coloured car. Down through the craners again. Gendy, meanwhile, further up the field, turns through the old hairpin, but it's getting pretty tight in that midfield bunch. One car going wide, but it's a 63 car, which is Oliver Allwood. He's now ahead of 86, Daniel Stewart. The driver to lose out there a couple of positions is number 9, which is Tomlinson. Greatrex brothers have now swapped positions, so it's Jason in 44 ahead of Chris. As this race now moves into its last couple of laps, I should think. This wet track, meaning that the lap times outside the lap record. Best lap of the race so far has gone to Ben Short, a 1 minute 40 dead. It's Bessel there, very out of shape, but holds on to it. He's just ahead of number 13, which is Scott Leach, the Mazda Racing stalwart now from Bedworth. Gendy goes through in 3rd, then 4th is James Harris going after him. In 5th place it's Jason Greatrex, in 6th place it's Chris Greatrex. Oh, and there's a bit of contact there, and I think that taps Mike Comber into a spin. It was from, I reckon, Oliver Allwood. Comber has gone to join Ben Hansey in the gravel trap at McLean's. He joins the list of retirements, which is actually quite long by Mazda Racing standards, because these are quite reliable cars, but there's a few cars that have gone skating off. So we've lost Marco Argan, Brian Chandler has come into the pits, Ben Hansey is out, James Rogers is out, Stuart Brittle is out. We've now lost Michael Comber as well, and we've not got too much of this race left to go. So there's Gendy in number 74. Two Greatrex brothers getting further apart now as Jason pulling away from Chris. And looking at their lap times, that's a personal best lap, that from Jason, a 1:42.31. Oh, and that at the old hairpin out of shape is number 72, which is Matthew Short, father of Ben, and cars go either side as they try and fail to get past the recovering Matthew Short. There though is our race leader. He's just gone on to his final lap of the race. Oh, and he's pushing on. He's well clear of Will Blackwell Chambers, but I think he's out there enjoying himself now. Sideways through Redgate, sideways through Hollywood, sideways through the Craners. He can afford a bit of showboating because he's got a big old lead here. It's like Mazda drifting down here at the old hairpin. Can he afford to do this for the whole of the rest of the lap? Sam Gendy has to take things more conventionally because he's got James Harris right behind him in number 37. Third place is far from settled and they're both off. Well, had Harris not followed Gendy off there, he would have gone through to a podium position, no doubt about it. Meanwhile, Shorty's still showing off to the crowd that is here, but he comes up to the line and wins the first ever 5 Club Racing Mazda MX-5 Championship race. The gap has come right down at the end though to a little over 3 seconds from Will Blackwell Chambers. Oh, in a moment, and that's Nick Ledoyen, number 75. Is he going to keep it out of the gravel? No. So Nick Ledoyen is the latest Mazda MX-5 driver to end up in the kitty litter. There is our third place man, Sam Gendy, out of the very mucky car now of 37, James Harris. Here are the results then. It's Short that took the win from Will Blackwell Chambers and Sam Gendy. Harris and the Greatrex brothers completed the top 6, and Short also got the fastest lap as well. In 7th place it was Daniel Stewart ahead of Ian Tomlinson. Jack Sycamore 9th and Adam Bessel completed the top 10. And there's another Mazda MX-5 race to come up a little bit later on.
Well done, Ben. Great way to start the year with a win there. How was it from your driving point?
Yeah, it was good, apart from the start, which is, I think, probably one of the worst starts I've ever made. I think I dropped back to 3rd by the first corner, but Will got a bit sideways on the exit, so got a bit of a run down the hill, and I think just led the race from there on, to be fair, so it's really relaxed, and yeah, nice easy race.
Is it drying out on track much at all at the minute?
Just a little bit of tyre squeal just starting to appear, but it's gone really patchy and greasy now, so it's super slippery. But yeah, I think it might be a dry one this afternoon, which is a shame from my point of view. But yeah, some of the usual suspects will probably be up the front if it dries out this afternoon.
Well done, Will, on your 2nd place. You were a double winner here last year at Donington Park. Was that a happy drive to 2nd?
It was a lonely drive. We got a good start. I then came down into the old hairpin a little bit too early on the brakes, so Ben got me. Literally just spent the rest of the race trying to catch him. Sadly, he had a little bit more pace than I did, so could never get back up to him. But overall, it's a good result. I'm happy with 2nd. It's a BS Motorsport 1-2, so no, it's gone really well today.
Sam Gendy, 3rd place for yourself there. Did you enjoy that race?
Yeah, that was fantastic. To start the season off with a 3rd was completely unexpected. We were testing on Friday and we dropped an engine. So we managed to salvage one from Michael Coomber. He very kindly ran it up for us yesterday. And qualifying didn't feel too quick. But, you know, to finish first you have to finish. All right, I finished 3rd, but a few people in front of me fell off. So I'll take that any day.
It's always a long break over the winter months, but you got straight back into it pretty quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. We tested here at Donny a couple of weeks ago. We've got new tyres this season. So we ran those in, they went well. And then, like I say, half a day testing on Friday before I dropped an engine. So, yeah, no complaints.
2nd race for the 5 Club Racing MX-5 Cup, backed by Nankang tyres. Cars running on Nankang tyres this season as well. The grid for this one made up from the results of race 1, which has the potential for some interest with some quick drivers at the back, such as Brian Chandler and James Rogers, amongst others. About 3 or 4 seconds to go before the start of the race. We get underway now then. Conditions a bit better than they were earlier on. Short and Blackwell Chambers it was on the front row of the grid. Blue and white for Blackwell Chambers, and Short in the mainly white car with the red livery. And this big grid, 34 cars making their way through. Look at that, Brian Chandler was the driver making a move. The driver going off into the gravel there was number 10. And that is Stuart Mackay. He rejoins, but right at the back of the field. But Chandler it was who started 33rd. He had quite a bit of ground to make up. He was looking pretty determined. We'll see how far up the order he can go by the end of lap number 1. On board with Paul Reed in number 33. The driver from Loughford, Lincolnshire, just up the road from Cadwell Park, is losing a place to Oliver Allwood. Now he's another of the drivers that has to burn from the stern effectively. He started 29th. He was a late retirement from race 1. Had that clash, of course, with Mike Comber. 75, Nicola Doyen is another driver that ended up in the gravel in race number 1. He'll be hoping for better fortunes this time. So down the hill, the top 2 breaking away, then it's Gendy under quite a bit of pressure there, and it's Harris that goes through on the inside of the chicane. So number 37, James Harris, taking 3rd place away. Rest of the field just streaming through, cars 2 abreast in places. Changes going on down the order. There's almost 3 abreast now for 3rd place, because it's Jason Greatrex that's trying to join in. It's Harris, Gendy and Greatrex. Then the other Greatrex brother, Chris, is in 6th position. Spinner, and that looks to be Ian Tomlinson, number 9. The Lancashire driver off on the grass on the inside there. Oh, and he's been joined as well